Hi everybody and welcome on Let's Cook with Cecile. Today, meat! Can you believe that? I never made any meat for you yet. So, duck is one of my favorite meat ever. I know that for you guys it might be a little bit exotic, but believe me, really, I know that some of the crew here are ticklish about it, but I'll see what they look like at the end. But I discovered this dish a long time ago in a French restaurant. Of course, I was in France. And since I've been completely in love with the alliance of duck and blackberries. So this is what we'll make today. We'll make legs of duck with blackberry sauce, the way you should have it in a gourmet restaurant or gastronomic restaurant, which means that we'll make a gastrique and we'll make a reduction with red wine and blackberries and caramel and everything. So it's something that is so easy to do at home, no excuse at all. So it's going to save you, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars, because you can do it very cheaply at home, not having to go to any fancy restaurants. Anyway, I don't even know if someone is doing that around here. So let's do it. Alors I wanted to show you, alors we make the duck's legs, for instance. No, the duck legs. We'll make the duck legs. And we'll make also some homemade lady fingers, and traditionally flavored with orange blossom water in here, which, oh my God, I don't know if you never had that. It is addictive, orange blossom water. And we'll make a little turnip puree to go with the duck. And a little blackberry coulis to go with the lady fingers. Since we are in blackberry, let's continue with blackberry. So, very important, let's start, because this duck is going to simmer for about 1 hour. So I have some heat in here, I'm gonna, voila. And I'm gonna put some coconut oil, because it's better to make it healthy, since coconut oil is the healthy fat. You'll see that in this recipe, we have actually no butter, no cream. I'm gonna put a little bit of cream in the turnip puree, and that's it. Basically, it could be, you could even not put that in your turnip. You could put a little bit of coconut milk or coconut cream simply, and it would be the same. So you could have a completely dairy-free meal in here, okay? Of course, not counting the lady fingers, because there is eggs in there, but no dairy products whatsoever. So this little, okay, fat is melting. In the meantime, I have in here some flour. We are going to flour the legs, in which I added some salt and pepper. So we just quickly, voila, flour these legs. It should be hot in there. Yeah. And hopla. And we're going to just make the skin crisp a little bit. Voila, and color in there. So I'm gonna let that color. In the meantime, you can take some time to, you have enough time while it's burning to cut some julienne. In here I have celery, I have carrots, I have onions, okay? I don't know, roughly 2 cups of the whole thing. This is, I think, for one person like my husband. He would be frustrated with only 1 leg. But it depends, you know, it could be enough if you have an appetizer. But I like to have a lot of vegetable garnish for the sauce. So, but well, anyway, I'll give you some quantities in the recipe on my website. But voila, you have to let that brown a little bit. Alors the best is to use a type of Dutch oven. If you have something heavy, you know, like Le Creuset, for instance, the nice and colored Le Creuset pots, use that. And so this way you can let it really, you know, simmer for a while. It's gonna simmer for a good hour. Okay, so I'm gonna let that brown, okay? And when it's nice and brown, we come back and we'll continue with the garnish and everything.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Now it's kind of nice and golden brown, so you know you can let it a little bit longer, but it should be fine like that. So I take it out. So I have the room for the garnish. And here we go. Voila. All goes in there. And I let it color a little bit also. You know, it's a typical kind of garnish that you use for, you make the same thing if you want to make a chicken chasseur, for instance, which is the same thing but with the chicken. So, of course, if you don't like duck, eventually do that with chicken, but don't do the, I don't think the blackberry sauce would be nice with a chicken. It needs something more robust for the taste. But it's the same process. You have your chicken, you roll it in flour, you slightly color it, you add your garniture aromatic, which is this, you know, carrot, onion, and celery blend. You let it color a little bit in there. Some will add some cognac at the end when it's nice and colored, and eventually flambe it before they add any type of liquid in here. The liquid we'll add is this duck stock I've made yesterday. Simply, you know, I don't know if you remember when I made this poached chicken, I told you it was the best recipe to make your homemade chicken stock. Exactly the same thing, but instead of chicken, you simply put duck, and that's it. I had plenty of duck legs, so I put it in there with the water, all the spices, vegetables, and I let it simmer the whole day, actually. And it's nice and fragrant, and you can distinctly smell the difference between that and a regular chicken stock. So this is very ducky. It's not Donald. It's not Buffy. What's his name? No, it's a ducky. Just the legs. Okay. So now that the veggies, you know, melted a little bit in there, we can add back the legs. Voila. And our stock. Here. We cover. And we forget that for 1 hour. The good thing is, while this is cooking, we have plenty of things to do. And, well, besides cleaning up, we have the caramel to make, because the whole thing with you, when you make a sweet sauce for a duck, or any kind of sweet sauce, generally speaking, you have to start with what we call a gastrique. And a gastrique starts with some caramel, okay, that will deglaze with something acidic. And in here, the acid comes from balsamic vinegar. That will go perfectly well with the red wine I have in here. This is Malbec. Malbec is this type of red that has some blackberry notes behind, and a lot of red fruits. So this is what you want in your blackberry sauce. So remember how to make caramel? Do nothing, actually, just wait. There is nothing. Never stir a caramel. You know, just put your sugar in there, you know, and let it melt. You did that at school, no? Chemistry? Just let that melt. But we'll come back when it's melted and I'll show you how to continue.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Ah, that smells so good. Can't wait. Anyway, we have to wait. So in the meantime, you will make these wonderful homemade ladyfingers, which have absolutely nothing to do with the dry cookies you buy to make tiramisu, for instance. These are called biscuits à la cuillère in France, and they are very soft and fragrant, and we use them to make charlotte. Maybe you heard about that. Charlotte is this cake in which actually you have the cookies around, and you have usually a chocolate mousse in the middle, or a strawberry mousse, or sometimes apple and caramel and stuff like that. We make tons of things with biscuits à la cuillère, but it's mainly a wonderful, ready-to-eat, very light, fat-free cake, cookies. Kids love it in France. Parents love it also. It's so good dunk in coffee. So we'll make that today and we'll dunk it in blackberry coulis, you'll see. So we have to have the egg whites separated. So I just started, you know, voila. You'll see it's hyper quick to make. My kids are always asking me to make them that. Anyway, no one can, you know, they cannot buy it in here, it doesn't exist. And if you can find sometimes some fresh ladyfingers, there is nothing, it's not comparable. And it is so easy to make at home anyway. Why bother? So the main thing, the secret, it's in the orange blossom water. And we'll add a tiny bit of that in our egg whites. Now, it won't prevent it from, where is it? Là, voilà. From foaming. We want it to, attention, it's gonna be noisy. Voilà. So, nice and fluffy egg whites, high speed. You can do it by hand, very easy to do it by hand. What we do is, like for a meringue, when it starts getting nice and white, we'll start adding the sugar. Alors you can put any type of sugar in there. You don't need to. My sugar is an organic, not completely white sugar, but the thing is you cannot really put a brown sugar in here. Okay, so now is the time to add the sugar to, how you call that? To give more density to the eggs, to the egg whites. Look at that. Instantly it's starting to change texture. It's going to start to be nice and dense. Voila. And then quickly up. Finished. Can you believe that? Okay. Once you add the yolks, it's very, very quick. You finish it by hand, you don't want to. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Huh? Look at that. You finish incorporating your yolks, like that. Now what I like to do also is to add a drop of orange or lemon essential oil if I want to really make it more fragrant for a certain type of, to make a change and also to make another type of dish with it. Look at that. Okay. Now we'll add the flour. For the flour, it's very important to sift it. No, flour. Voila. Voila. It's like, making a genoise. It's the same. We'll make that. Okay. Anyway, if now you know how to make biscuit à la cuillère, we'll be ready to make a charlotte next time. Oh, what about a charlotte aux fraises, strawberry charlotte? Huh? I think you guys would like that. And maybe next time the strawberries will look better than now, because really at this time of the year they are too ugly. They are not even fragrant. Voila. See, alors, don't overdo it, okay? The danger in here is to over stir it. It needs to be very, very firm. Otherwise, we won't be able to have the proper consistency to make the proper shape. Okay, alors, now the thing is, here we go. Okay. Move this so it's not, voila, no need this anymore. Voila. But we'll need that. Okay. I've put a pretty wide tip. Don't use the kind of tips you use for cake decorating with a tiny little bit of something in the, you want something wide. Well, if you don't have this kind of bag, it's not a big deal. You can use an automatic spoon, ice cream spoon, to make nice big bowls. But here I wanted to show you the proper shape of the biscuit à la cuillère. So if we want to do it again to make a charlotte, you'll have the proper shape. Because we cannot do that cannot make a charlotte with a round cookie, it doesn't work. Voila. Là. Okay. Alors. Là. Okay, the same as for the eclair. Hop. Very easy. Okay, how far are we? And very important, a dusting of icing sugar on top before we cook them. It's going to make a delicate crust on top. This is what usually the kids prefer about these little cookies. They are very nice and soft in the middle and slightly crunchy outside in the oven. about 10 minutes. We'll come back when they are ready. Okay, so our turnips are nice and soft now. They are ready. So I'm going to transfer them in my little trusted Ninja. In this case, it's much better. We want something very smooth to have a nice puree. So, voila. We'll add a little bit of cream in there. Voila. And we'll make a little bit of noise. Just add a little bit more cream. Voila. Zo. Okay, so we keep that in here. And you remember I said I would mix up, so voila, the sauce. We'll finish the sauce. In here we have some of the veggies I got from the cooking pot of the duck. And what I'm gonna do is look at that reduction of blackberry, red wine, and vinegar. I'm gonna stick that in here. And mix everything together. I never added any fat in here besides the coconut oil that I had in there from the beginning. So since the duck is already, it's not a fat meat, but the skin is fatty, so no need to add too much. So in here we'll blend. Voila. Ah là là. Bon. Hein? Bon. I stop because. Alors. Everything is in the presentation. Alors, we have our turnip puree ici. Let's take that. There is a piece of turnip that didn't, but it's okay. It's going to be a little bit textured. You spread some of that here. You place, voila, one or two, hein, you choose. Hein. Of course. You can either just place a touch of the blackberry sauce in here, or if you are like my kids, you bury your legs under. But let's make it elegant, not too much. And since we talk about elegance, voila, a little bit of parsley in there. Not fussy, not complicated, but it should make George very happy. We'll see that. And for the dessert, we just have to, voila. Of course, if you're more chocolate, do chocolate, okay. I understand it can be, But I thought that, blackberry would change a little bit from the usual chocolate. But it's the same principle. We just dip in there. So let's bring George. George, are you there? George, I need you to try that. I need to see your face. He's coming. Because, guys, I have to tell you, George told me, no, not duck. I don't like duck. You don't like duck.
Hello,
Try
folks.
that.
I was directing the show, so I'm just going to
Voila.
go back.
Bon
So
alors, go ahead.
I'm going to try it
Be careful,
here.
there is a bone. Huh?
Okay. So we'll try a little piece. It looks it smells delicious.
Already it smells delicious.
Can I duck it
Yeah,
in the sauce
exactly.
here?
Go ahead.
Okay.
He's scared. I know he's scared.
It's delicious.
You see? I told you. Bon, alors attends.
She was right.
She was
Try duck.
He told me, oh no, no
Tastes
duck.
just like chicken. No, I'm only kidding.
Duck is too greasy and everything. This is not,
It's not
greasy
greasy at all.
See? Okay.
It's delicious. Now, what do we have here?
Alors, tiens. He's the only one not to try it yet. You take one of these and you dip
Okay.
it. Voilà.
Voila.
As I said, you can do it in chocolate, but we are trying to stay a little bit on the light side. That's why.
Excellent. Now, if people want to get this recipe,
Yeah.
where would they find that?
On my website. Okay, on the English version of my website, I will tell you all about the details that I didn't give you in here because we don't have the time to. So ingredients and measurements and everything. And if you have questions, I'm there. And eventually, if one day you're good, we'll do something for the public or something, no? So they can try it.
Sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, so if you want to know how to make this great recipe at home, the information is on your screen now. And you remember, you can watch all her shows on demand at ActonTV.org. Cecile, thank you so much for joining us today in our kitchen. And we're going to dig into some duck
Oh,
here.
yeah.
All right.
We have to continue in there. Let's see. Maybe we should let them try a little bit.
How do you say goodbye in French?
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
He's trying his French.